Shalom. First and foremost, call Allah and Wakabat, La Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Aruchakwadash. Double understood the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Scattered throughout the four corners of the earth of the tabernacle of David. And I just want to do a slight response to this video uploaded by the elder Rechiah Kwam out in the London camp. It's entitled, "But You Are a Chosen Race." You know, very short, straight to the point video. And what he brings out in his lesson is, hey, it gets no plainer. You know, I could see vocab in a lot of these Christians ignoring this, because that's very vital, man. For the head apostle, Apostle Peter, you know, he sent this letter out to the dispersion, but the church always use, you know, terms like Gentile and stranger to make the gospel exclusive. Slakia, I meant inclusive. All right, where, you know, everybody's involved, no matter what nation, especially vocab. Vocab, you know, he teaches that the Israel, the actual Israel is a multinational church. And he also made a statement a couple of years back, and I believe he said he does not believe in the primacy of racial identity. You know, basically it holds no weight. It doesn't mean anything, but we treat it as if it's the end all be all. It's the golden goose. He said this years ago. And, you know, we did response videos showing them that the only way that this even concerns you, you know, this word, this gospel, the message of salvation, is if you're of that chosen lineage, that chosen race. And the brother brought it out in 1 Peter, the 2nd chapter. It made it super plain. The translation that he read, I believe it was the NLT. Let's go to it real quick. And I remember also bringing it out as well in a lesson a while ago. All right, 1 Peter 2, verse 9, it says, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood." And this is him telling strangers, you know, because they'll read the first chapter and see how, you know, this is to the elect, the strangers, you know, who are also foreknown. All right, according to the election. Why is he telling some actual heathens that they were elected according to the foreknowledge? The Lord never done with other people. He only dealt with one people. So, I mean, this gives you the clue who he's talking about. 1 Peter 2, verse 9, "But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood and holy nation, a peculiar people, that you should shew forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." And I believe he went into, I believe it was the NLT. Okay, maybe it was, the ESV, the English Standard Version. "But you are a chosen race, a royal priesthood and holy nation, a people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." You read the Christian Standard Bible, "But you are a chosen race." But they'll be quick to tell you it ain't about a chosen race. It's not about a racial identity. Well, why is Apostle Peter, you know, why is he making this statement? You know, what's so significant about these people being identified as the chosen race? Because this is the race who was given the promise, who was given the blessing. Okay, that's why it matters. A royal priesthood. The Lord told us that going back to Exodus 19 and 5 and 6. Right? A holy nation. There are holy people unto the Lord thy power. He have chosen thee to be a special people to himself above all people on the face of the earth. So Peter is agreeing with what it says in the law. A people for his possession, you know, because Israel is the rod of his inheritance, so that you may proclaim the praises of one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. All right, now, when you go to real quick, let's go to Acts 13. 'Cause I remember it was another lesson or video that I did in response to something that vocab had claimed, and he actually issued out a challenge to Israelites saying, show where Peter or one of the apostles made it about race, made it about racial identity when it came to presenting the gospel. And this was one of the very chapters I went to, because in this encounter right here, where is it at? Yeah, Acts 13 and 16. This is when Paul actually stood up, right? And what did he do? What was the first thing that he mentions? Acts 13 and 16, it says, then Paul stood up and beckoning with his hand and said, men of Israel, and ye that fear the Most High, give audience. So you Israelites, you men of Israel, he identified them by a race. That was the first thing he did. Are you men of the stock, the genos of Israel, and ye that fear the Most High, give audience. You listen. And then he proceeded to break it all down, because this pertains to Israelites, because they're the chosen race. Now let's jump down real quick. And let's start at 21. It says, and afterward they desired a king, and the Most High gave unto them Saul the son of Cis, a man of the tribe of Benjamin, by the space of 40 years. And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony, and said, I have found David the son of Jesse, a man after my own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. Of this man's seed, of his loins, his sperm, have the Most High, according to his promise, raised unto Israel a Savior, Yahushai. And when John had first preached before his coming the baptism of repentance to all the people of Israel, and as John fulfilled his course, he said, whom think ye that I am? I am not he, but behold, there cometh one after me, whose shoes of his feet I am not worthy to loose. Men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham. He's still talking to Israelites, because he said men of Israel when he stood up. So he's referring to them as men and brethren, children of the stock of Abraham, and whosoever among you feareth the Most High, to you is the word of this salvation sent. Now you look up that word stock. All right. The word is what? Genos. All right. You get the word gene. And you look at the Strong's definition, it says kin. All right. Born, countryman, diversity, generation, kind, nation, offspring, stock. All right. Let's go to stock. Let's see what two precepts pops up. Acts 13 and 26, which I just read, and also Philippians 3 and 5. And this is Apostle Paul. Let's read that. Philippians 3 verse 5, it says, circumcised the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, an Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee. All right. This is Apostle Paul describing himself. Now, when you read, let's go to the YLT translation and see what that say. And it says, circumcision on the 8th day of the race of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of Hebrews, according to a law, a Pharisee. So in other words, he's admitting that he's of the race of Israel, from the tribe of Benjamin. So he's of that chosen race. Let's go back to that in Acts 13. Was it 26? Acts 13:26, and let's go to the CSB and see what that say. Brothers and sisters, Akin wa Akwaf, children of Abraham's race. Right there, man, right in your face. and those among you who fear the Most High, it is to us that the word of this salvation has been sent. It gets no plainer. It gets no plainer, man. All right. What constitutes the race of Abraham? Those who descended out of his loins. All right. Which it was passed down. It went from him to Isaac. All right. Bypassed Ishmael, and it was Isaac that was accounted for the seed. Then it trickled down to Jacob. And then Jacob had 12 sons. And if you want to make the claim of Israel being a multi-national church, well, not in the sense that vocab says it. It according to the blessing that, you know, their seed would become multiply as the stars of heaven, as the sand of the sea. A company of nations would come out of their loins. So, yeah, there's, you know, a company of nations. Each tribe is a nation within itself, but they still descend back to one race. Back to the same lineage, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So you can't get around this, man. Now let's go to Romans 9. We always go into this chapter. Romans 9. This is in the CSB. Let's go to the ESV and see what it say. Because I know it was one of these translations where it also uses the term race. Here we is. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this is Romans 9 and 3, and this is from the RSV, the Revised Standard Version. It says, "For I wish that I myself were accursed and cut off from Hamashiach for the sake of my brethren, my kinsmen by race. They are Israelites, and to them belong the sonship, the glory, the covenants." You could read Galatians 4, understanding the sonship. He breaks it all down. It says the covenants, the giving of the law, and the worship, and the promises. To them belong patriarchs, and of their race, according to the flesh, is the anointed. Woo! Gee. The Most High, who is over all, be blessed forever. Amen. So there it is, man. Let me see what it, because I think it was another translation that uses that as well. Let me see. I think I read that one already. Let me see. CSB. I know vocab hurting right now. If you're watching, because Christians, they don't really agree with the Bible. They think they do. All right, RSV. I think I read that. So yeah, man. You know, I'm gonna cut it right there, man. I just had to add, you know, to that brother's lesson. All right, but you are a chosen race, and multiple scriptures through various translations. You know, when you compare it, you know, it's agreeing that this race is you know, very vital, or very focused on, because that's who it pertains to. All right, you can't open this up to anybody else, any other race of people. That's what we've been trying to tell you. But hey, we get called a racist for it. Oh, so be it. Because now you're seeing that the Bible is racist. So, anyway, with that, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. To the next lesson, Shalom.